How you doing?
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
Nice to see you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Hey, he gets prettier every year.
More beautiful.
Mm.
It's the fertilizer I use.
Yeah. Called BS. Okay, that's better.
Hey, Dave, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you for a long time.
Yes, thank you, sir. Yeah, I have a photo entered tonight, so no excuses. And
Good.
I'm glad to see everybody.
Yeah.
I miss our regular meetings, but Zoom's fine.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Eduardo, I see you there.
So, Jim,
Yeah,
will you introduce your friend Eduardo?
I will.
That would be great. Well,
All
you know,
right.
presumably Cheryl will call for somebody to introduce him. So,
Can you hear us, Eduardo?
Yes, I can.
All right, all right. We'll wait till everybody joins. Which should be in.
Hi, Rosie.
Hi, Rosie. Hey, Rosie.
Have we heard anything from the group from Yosemite? How they're doing?
No, I haven't heard a word.
They're having too much fun to think about us.
They sent the Rangers looking for them.
They-
they're just photographing Horsetail Falls again
Yeah, yet again.
and again.
And again.
Well, I think they're gonna get lucky. It looks like they're gonna have some sun, so that maybe we'll actually see it.
Well, as long as they got, enough warmth for the snow to melt and cause the waterfall to fall.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of things to go right for that to be.
Yeah, and you got a 2-week window and,
Sure can't count on it.
and plus they have to deal with about 2,000, 3,000 other people who just show up for the day. It's a zoo to go there and photograph Horsetail Falls.
Hey,
Yeah.
Chuck,
Mm-hmm.
is that actually you?
That's actually me.
Wow.
And you're not in bed.
I
Right,
know.
and I can see more than the top of your head.
I'm in my office downstairs. My cave.
I'm surprised Cheryl's not here.
Well, she may be working or
Horsetail Falls.
Oh, she's in Yosemite with.
Yeah, I think they.
oh, she is okay.
Yeah.
I think I remember her saying something about she was gonna stay there or something. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she told me to run the meeting if she didn't make it, but I haven't heard anything from her in 2 weeks. So
Yeah, they were gonna stay at the
70 view, I think.
Yosemite View.
no,
They have Wi-Fi at Yosemite View, so.
no, they were staying at not the Awani, but the other one. They were staying at one of the lodges, I think. Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Yosemite Lodge or the Awani, huh? Okay.
what's the other one that's
the Wawana or something. Or?
Oh yeah, that's way up top. That's on the
Yeah.
southern entrance.
yeah, I thought that's where they said they were staying.
Oh, okay.
There is a Motel 6.
winter.
Yeah.
There's a Motel 6 there that they could stay in.
Fish camp. Bad guy.
I think your memory's failing you, Jim.
Nothing wrong with Motel 6, but you ain't going to find one in Yosemite.
How do
Maybe
you know?
Motel 600.
Yeah.
Well, you know that the original name was Hotel $6 or Motel $6. They obviously changed it.
As long as there's no bed bugs, I'm fine with it.
Well, isn't it?
Richard Russ.
Russ. Hi, Richard.
Yeah, I don't think he has a microphone or a camera.
No, he does not.
I found out I heard somewhere, there's an app you can get, a free app for your iPhone, if you have an iPhone, that will work as a camera for these meetings somehow.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You might want to check it out. I don't know,
You
maybe.
can log onto these
Well,
meetings.
if you download the WebEx app and you actually execute it from the iPhone or your Google phone,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it uses your camera, your microphone, your speakers. I mean, it works
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, as long as you give it permission, they'll let you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoom does the same thing.
Yeah.
But then for $40, you can buy a webcam that you put on top of the computer.
Oh, that's too
Contains
much
a
trouble.
microphone and a video, you know.
It's probably sitting, he's got it on order. It's probably sitting on a ship off of Long Beach.
I wouldn't pay more than $35 to do that, so I'm out. Okay.
All right.
You're out.
nobody cares, Jim.
Yeah,
Well,
nobody
if you're
cares.
out, Tim, I can exit the meeting for you and
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get anyone else, does it?
Probably not.
Probably
not.
Maybe
Jean
if you got about-
always seems to connect late, but she's probably in Yosemite as well.
Yeah, Jeannie and Ken are there for sure.
Well, it's up to you, Alan. It's 7 p.m. If you want to start the meeting, we can.
Well, we would go about, how about 3 more minutes?
Okay.
All right.
Countdown. So,
Okay, only 1 more minute.
2.5.
You take too fast, leaders of the world.
My iPhone is put in my iPhone.
Alan, what's your background?
That is my
Infrared.
backyard shot with a multi-image filter
On the
a
infrared.
camera that had the infrared and the UV filter removed through some kind of simulation. I was just playing around with it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. My problem with that camera is when I use a 850 nanometer thing, every aperture has a big light spot. So
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what to do instead.
Have you tried a 720 nanometer one?
Not yet, but I understand the 850 nanometer have the spot on them. Are more likely to show a spot. Oh, here's the Powell.
The Powell's made it.
There they are. Hello?
Hey.
You got a connection in your camper.
Yeah, why not? We're awesome.
Now, are you doing it on your cell phone?
iPad, I think.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I
okay.
have.
So you've got a mobile connection because I don't think there's any Wi-Fi in the valley there.
Well, we could have Wi-Fi over the
Maybe
one,
not.
but maybe for this. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
we're at Yosemite Lodge, outside.
Oh. Okay.
In the parking lot.
Do they let you park there for free?
Yeah, because we're awesome.
Well, I just got back from walking down to Horsetail Fall. So I just walked back.
Wow.
And there wasn't any there wasn't any firefall. Oh well.
No.
Darn. Did
Yeah,
you
I
get a fresh, did you get snow?
Waterfall
Tim?
shot, and I didn't bother going to the falls because I didn't think it would be that great.
Yeah, Ed didn't go. What'd you say, Elaine?
Did you get some snow like you were thinking?
Snow flurries with corn snow. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're like pellets of snow
oh wow.
Really?
Wow.
and they're real dry.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that was just a little bit there in the valley, unfortunately. But it didn't rain either. So
Yeah.
it was
Oh.
But yeah, well, at least we had a full day of interesting clouds instead of snow. So
They talked about throwing us out because of a wind warning, but they didn't do it.
Oh,
Mm.
It was
So why don't we
some
start?
some
Yeah,
kind of
well-
wind advisory, but it never came up, so we were all right.
Oh, that's
Okay,
good.
Alan, it's yours.
Okay, so in 6 seconds it'll be 7:04. So I
Oh,
guess
we're
we'll
late.
go ahead and get started. And welcome everybody. And first of all, I guess well, we're sort of getting a live field trip report. So any future field trips?
yes, we're having the Santa Barbara Botanical Garden tour the first Saturday in March.
That's interesting.
Okay,
That'll be
And
nice.
yeah, I think I meant to send you a message, Jim, but I don't think I got around to it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you didn't.
I chose the first Saturday of.
I can't make it. Oh, just kidding.
I could change it. It's all in my head. But yeah, that's the thing happening in March, and then Pinhole Photography Day in April, going to Morro Bay.
Very good.
All right. So then I want to add, I still got these awards, and I want to give them out to people. And so Flavio, I have the hardest one to ship anywhere is the Shepherd Award. So maybe at some point I can drive down, meet you. So I'm driving to Santa Barbara tomorrow. I can meet you somewhere if you're available, or can do it on another day.
Not tomorrow because I'm particularly busy tomorrow in the office. So we can speak in another day. I send to you an email or I phone to you and we manage. Don't worry.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then Elaine, you have an award coming. I can drop it off with you at some point. And then
Okay.
Ed, you have an award coming.
I do.
Yeah, you have been awarded. So I've got these plaques. I need to get them off my coffee table. So
Well, let me just send me we'll communicate by email, Alan. I'm very flexible.
okay, cool. Yeah, all right, no problem.
Oh yeah, real flexible.
Okay, is anybody have any other announcements or anything of any kind? I still don't know how many members we have. Bob Gann and I went and deposited the checks into the bank. We had something like 20 checks, so we probably have about 25 paid members at this point. If you haven't paid and you're in earshot and you haven't paid, I think at a certain point you won't be able to compete. I think that's date is March. So if you haven't paid, so okay. So anyway, so I can't think of anything else. So maybe Jim, you could introduce our judge.
Okay, I will. Eduardo Fuji is our judge, and I've known Eduardo for what, 15 years, Eduardo? Must be something close.
Yeah, I think that long, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was a friend of, well, we have a mutual friend named Chris Whitney, who met Eduardo first through, what was it, the JPEG magazine or something like that? I don't remember.
I think it was a website that is photoworkshop.com.
Oh, yeah, it was, okay. Photo Workshop, because I was a member of that also. But anyway, then I've seen Eduardo's work. We've shared, we've had work in Black and White magazine and that type of thing. And a few years ago, must be over 6 years ago now, Chris and I went up there to, you're still in Pebble Beach area, is that right, Eduardo? Yeah. And spent a weekend up there making photos with him. And he's I think you're still a member of the, what's the name of the camera club up there?
It's the Image Makers of Monterey.
That's right. Okay, great. And so, and you also, you work for the International Language Institute or something like that?
Yeah, I work at now it's the Middlebury
Okay.
Institute. Yes, I work since like for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And I hope you're going to show us some of your work at the end of the meeting.
No, I don't have anything prepared to
Okay,
show.
that's fine. But Eduardo does really amazing work. I was first time I saw his work, I was very impressed by his by his vision, I guess you would call it. So anyway, if you want to tell us anything about yourself, Eduardo, we open it up to you for a few minutes.
Yeah, I used to be a better photographer. When I start taking photographs, I think I used to be better. So my photography career kind of went down the drain. And now I'm doing like mostly like collages and crazy stuff, and so I was very impressed with the quality of the photographs that I had to judge. It was very difficult to judge these photographs. And let me just say before you throw tomatoes at me that
avocado.
this is all my personal opinion. So taking that disclaimer out of the right from the start.
Yeah, we all understand that. I'm pretty sure. So.
And besides, it's hard to throw tomatoes virtually.
Yes.
Virtual tomatoes.
There's a software program for you right there.
Yeah, I think in the reactions might be something that you can throw at me.
Okay, if we're ready, I will start sharing my screen.
Sure, go ahead.
Eduardo, so I'll remind you that we're going to do a quick run through. We'll start with color first. We're going to step through.
You're going to start with color?
Color. We're going to start with color first.
Okay.
And then we step through so everybody gets to see every image. Because we only know what we submitted, not what anybody else submitted. And then you'll return to the beginning. And then once we come back, then our scorekeeper will read to you the name of the image and then ask you for your comments and your scoring.
So you want me to give the score right from this?
Yeah, once we start going through and we read you the title, you can start making your comments on each image and then tell us what you think the score should be for that image.
Okay.
And then we'll have the second or the third round where the scores and the photographer is announced, basically.
Yeah, where the winning images are.
Right.
Well, the photographer is announced, yeah.
Right.
Are we recording? Great.
Yes.
We lost you, Greg.
There it was gone.
Huh. Okay, let me try again. No, that's not what I want to do. Share. All right. I need to get over here. Share. Adobe Bridge. Share.
Ah, we're back.
And if I click the first image and hit spacebar, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, we're back at the first image.
This one is titled At the Boardwalk.
Yes.
And you can give us your comments in the store.
Okay, so let me all right, so I look at these different aspects, like you asked me from a technique, composition, and the impact point of view. So from the technique point of view, I think I like to praise the photographer for creating this image that has so many layers and so many it's like having multiple images in one. And I don't think that this is a photoshopped image. So I'd like to praise photographer for having the eye to identify this, because it's stunning for the photograph. The colors are incredible. The orange and the green, it just just stopped me of the tracks. And I said, oh my God, that was my first reaction to this, because it's so like this. There is a minimalistic view at the bottom, right? The table and the chairs. There is a kind of a geometric, abstract. Just this image would be a winner, just for the bottom one. And then when you combine to the seascape with all those birds and all the action going on up there, it's just stunning photograph. Let me see if I made any other comments here. I wrote all the comments, so let me. So I really love the colors, and the green and the orange goes very well with the blue of the sky. It's incredible. I really enjoy looking at this image. So now to nitpick, I would just say that when photographing this, if the photographer had moved just a little bit to the left, so that or maybe to the right, so that the table and the benches would be more symmetrical. But this is just to nitpick, because it's not a big deal. Let me see another thing. So I love the combination of colors. It shows it's a bold image. It's modern, bold, and it has has its minimalistic approach to it. And just remind me, when I look from a distance, it reminded me the Minecraft, which is this video game. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's a very popular video game that has this also this bold color. So congratulations to the photographer, because it's just a stunning image. Do you want the score?
Yes,
please.
It's 21.
Different view.
Okay, so here, I love the technique. This is an incredible landscape capture. I love these various layers, all these different, from the foreground to the background, everything is in focus. You can see everything. It is also different layers, different shapes, So that makes a very pleasant photograph to look at. I really love the bottom area of the photograph, of the foggy and the trees coming out of the fog is just beautiful. Just that part would be a incredible photograph. What I found is the top was too bright. I think it's too bright for me, and I think that it's just a personal thing. But for me, the top is a little bit too bright. You see the sky has some details there. There are some clouds that get lost in the brightness. And also, it would be nice. I'd like to see some more detail in the foreground, because I see that the slope, the hill here has some interesting trees there. And if I could see some more details there, it would be nice, like the details that you see in the background. But the foreground, because it is too dark, you kind of lose some of the details there. I'm probably nitpicking because the image is very beautiful as it is. So congratulations to the photographer also for capturing this image. I wish I could take photos beautiful like this. Let me see. In terms of composition, I like these different layers that it has, all these different shapes. It adds interest to the photograph. It makes it, it makes the viewer take longer looking at it and finding out all these different things that are to see. You have this line of trees that are against the fog, so you can see them like a silhouette. It just, there's so much to see here. It's really, really, really incredible. It's an image that grabs your attention. So I gave a score of 18.
18. Thank you. This is titled Fall Impressions.
Okay, fall impressions. It's incredible. It's a beautiful. I love abstract images. It's one of my things. It's an abstract image, especially the ones that you get from nature, like this one. So very fortunate. The photographer very fortunate to have this combination of colors. It's really beautiful, and then I like also that the photographer captured this branch of leaves in a diagonal, because I think that adds more interest. It makes the image more interesting. And I can see this in hanging on the wall of an art gallery, because it is just it's fantastic. It's warm, it's inviting, and with all the cold that we are having here, it's just it's like an escape from the bad weather. Well, not bad weather, but cold weather, I would say. So it's interesting. So I gave a score of 12.
Okay. Forest of Entombed Sailor's Diptych.
That one is a very, very, very creative and very interesting technique here. I'm not sure if this is a one thing or if this is a collage or something, but it's intriguing, let's say. And I like this technique of this diptych technique, that with different variations. And I would like to see actually more variations, and maybe you could have more variations and have an agreed of like 4x4 or even 6x6 or even larger. So I think it would make a very impressive photograph to have this laid out in a grid format with different variations. Maybe some black and white, some crazy filters applied to it, and you can then compose the entire image using these different parts, and so you make using these different you make an image that is actually end up being larger than the sum of its parts. So I would like to see this kind of variations. I like the composition and the square format. I love the square format. I think it's perfect for this, and with the face centered, right? So I really appreciate the symmetry. I'm an engineer, so I am always looking for balance, for equilibrium, for symmetry. That's my thing. So it's a very impactful image and is intriguing. So it makes us ask questions and get closer and figure out what is happening. I gave a score of 11. I hope I got these scores right, because in the beginning, at first, I got several images with the same score, because I was like scoring for different, like score for technique, a score for composition. Then I add them up, and in the end, I got various photographs with the same score. I don't know if that would be okay, but then I saw that you had like 21 images, exactly 21 images, and I think, oh, maybe they wanted it to be like each image has a different score. So that's what I did.
Oh,
I hope I didn't mess up with this.
we've had ties, and we would have to break the ties if we had ties, so that's fine. This image is titled Lost Arrow Yosemite.
Yes. Okay. So here, what I find interesting here is the texture in the on the rock. It's really incredible. I am embarrassed to say that I've never been to Yosemite. Really embarrassed, because I don't know any photographer around here that hasn't been there. So I'm not familiar with the rocks and the landscape in the area. So, but I was really struck by the texture, all these shadows, and I thought it was very interesting. And for some reason, I don't know why, don't ask me why, but when I saw this image, it reminded me of Star Wars, that robot, the R2-D2 droid. Don't ask me why, but it reminded me of that. Maybe it is the shape of the rock there. I don't know. Well, it kind of reminded that shape of the droid. But anyway, so I would like to see more actually close up of those rocks, because I think that is the most interesting part of the photograph. The foreground doesn't have anything really interesting happening here, and I also don't really like that sky up there because there is nothing interesting also there. So I think the rocks and the texture and the shadows and all these crevices would be the most interesting part to focus on. And I also think that maybe there would be some moving around. You could find some more interesting compositions. One thing that bothers me, for example, is I cannot see the top of the thing. That kind of bothers me. So if you want to actually crop the top of the rock, then I think you should also get rid of that area of the sky that doesn't actually add much to the photograph. So if you want to crop, I would crop just the rocks, because that I believe that you can find some very interesting abstract images there. And especially the shadow. I think you could play with the shadow. That's a very interesting shadow there. For me, it's not a very compelling image, right? But as I said, I'm not really much of a landscape photographer, so maybe I don't understand the allure of it, and maybe I don't understand the image. But as I said, it's for me personally, that doesn't do much for me. But it could be that just I don't understand what you are trying to show me. I gave a score of 9.
Meadowlark.
Oh, this is incredible. This is beautiful. Very, very nice portrait of this bird. I really enjoy it. It is very, very well captured. You know, you see all the eyes are very sharp. It draws my view to it. I love the feet. I mean, you see all those feet. I'd love to see another image of this bird, just the feet. It's incredible. It's very, very well captured. Very, very. I could see this as a this image would be at home at the Audubon Society. Let's see. So yeah, as I said, I like the sharpness of the eyes, the head, the feathers. One thing that I would like to suggest is to clone out that branch, that lone branch there, because I think that's not actually adding much to the image. You don't need to have that thing. And I think in terms of composition, I think it would be stronger not having that lone branch there, that branch or that stick thing there. The other thing is to nitpick now. I would just raise the bird just a little bit to put it more on a line of the rule of thirds, and just to nitpick. In other compositions that I see is to maybe lower the bird, have this like a vertical image with lots of white space, of empty space, and the bird at the bottom of the image. I think that would be very, very impactful image. It would be a stunning image. But it's very, very, very well captured. I gave a score of 16.
16, 1-6?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No sleepwalking.
Yeah. Whoa, this is incredible. This is really just incredible, beautiful. And I was so impressed by the level of detail and the sharpness that you see. You see all those aloe vera plants. They look like spiders, and they are so sharp. I mean, it's just incredible. It's amazing, and the entire scene is beautiful. The colors are beautiful. The colors are. I usually have problems with sky having just one part of the image, like from one side. But in this case, it doesn't detract from the photograph. It doesn't bother me because it is luminosity is very similar to the images. So it doesn't distract. It's not like overly bright like usually skies are. And the colors are also very similar to the stones and the rock, so it integrates better in this image. So everything is so homogeneous, and it's a beautiful picture. It's nice, really beautiful. The rocks, the details of the stones, it's incredible. It's beautiful. The color of the ceiling. It's incredible. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I gave a score of 20.
20. Now that's a perfect blanket.
So what's not to like? I mean, this is just an adorable author. I mean, it just brings like a smile to when I see such a cute. It's a cuteness overload. But now in terms of photograph, I think the major problem with this photograph is that the author is kind of out of focus. So I don't see, the eyes are not sharp, and the head is. It looks like the focus was on the legs, and so I think this is the other thing that bothers me in this photograph is the fact that the paws, I don't know if it is what you call it, the paws are cut off. But it's adorable. But unfortunately, and the other thing is that, well, it doesn't bother me those highlights on the kelp, these reflections. It could be worse, but it's hard to avoid. I understand, because I've taken photographs of sea otters, and I really didn't get much better photographs actually. And understand what it's it's kind of impossible to avoid this. So, but I think this did a good job keeping those highlights low, and it doesn't distract. Really. But unfortunately, the cutoff of the foot there, and the out of focus hand kind of made me give a score of 1.
I'm sorry, what was the score?
1.
1. Spray painted.
Okay, so this is an abstract image. Nice colors. I like the color combination, blue and yellow. They go very well together. It's an interesting. It's a nice abstract image. And also, what I like is that I cannot tell what it is because I hate when I see a abstract photograph and I identify what it is, and then it loses the magic for me. So, but anyway, there's not much I can say about this photograph. It's an abstract, so nice colors, not bad. I gave a score of 5.
Grass.
Okay, so here I've seen these close. The greens are really beautiful when you see this. This is lush and it's full of life, full of light, and it's really beautiful. Here, the greens kind of gets some kind of subdued because of all the foam of the water. I guess that it's kind of a long exposure because I see that the water is kind of blurred. But if I would like to see more, actually, I'd like to see a longer exposure that would really blur the water and would make these greens like stand out. They are so beautiful. So that's the suggestion that I would like to see. I mean, like more blur on the water, like very peaceful and static image with all those greens coming out of it. I think that would be very nice. I give a score of 4.
You otter do yoga.
Another adorable otter. Very nice. I mean, this. How often can you get an acrobatic otter? It's very nicely captured, and this I like the otter is actually in focus, especially the head is in focus and the eyes. I think that makes it another really nice image. The only thing that I would suggest is to use some vignetting to draw more attention to the subject, because I feel like the eyes when my eyes get to the border, it tends to leave the frame. So I think a light vignette would contain this image a little bit more and draw more attention to the author. I gave a score of 10.
That was a 10?
Yeah.
Ocean reclamation.
Wow. Here we have like us humans polluting nature. Looks like that's what we do. It's a disturbing image, actually, but the lighting is very nice. It's in terms of image, the lighting is very nice. I love the the reflection at the top, the reflection of what looks like buildings, reflecting buildings on the water. Actually, I would like to see more of that because the foreground, you have this is very homogeneous and doesn't actually, it's not really that interesting. So maybe move the camera maybe to the left and get lower and closer and close to the water level, and maybe work with the debris to make like a kind of curve that leads your eye to whatever is in the background that's reflecting there. So I think I would like to see this from a lower angle, I think. The other thing is that this is a rusty metal there. It's impressive. It's incredible. And I think that if you zoom in that area, you can find lots of different abstract images there that are just stunning. The color is incredible there. Let me see if. So what I suggest is to get the camera lower. I'd like to see the camera low. And now that I'm actually seeing something that I didn't notice before, but the texture of the water here on the lower left is incredible also. It's very nice. So you could get another abstract image if you focus just in that area. This is very nice. The texture of the water is incredible. It's very nice. So I gave a score of 6.
Point Wilson Lighthouse at dusk.
Yeah, this is such a beautiful image, beautiful light, beautiful light. I love the color. I love the mountain. It looks like there's snow on top of the mountain, but I'm not sure. But it looks very painterly, very painterly. It's beautiful. The colors are incredible. Colors are beautiful. So just to nitpick, I would maybe put the lighthouse, which is the main attraction in this photograph here, more prominent, and maybe increase this a little bit and have the lighthouse and that mountain over there in the background. I think that would make it a really stronger image. I like the reflection, the light reflection on the windows. It's really incredible. So I would maybe suggest that, because I think by showing too much, you actually get a weaker image if you just focus on the main thing, which is the lighthouse. So I would like to see just the lighthouse with the mountain in the background. I gave a score of 14. It's a beautiful image anyway.
I'm sorry, 14?
14.
Okay, thank you.
It's really beautiful.
Por favor, comprar fruta.
Oh, wow. This is this is incredible. I mean, look at the expression on her face, even the lines on her face. And when I saw this, I said, "Oh my God, I want to eat those papayas." And it's kind of, they are all jumping out of the photograph. So colorful, so warm, so very, very nicely captured. The expression actually on her face kind of shows anxiety to me. So I kind of wonder what is causing that? Why is she concerned about something? Is that something that she saw, someone that she saw that she doesn't like, that she's afraid of? So there are so many stories that you can tell with this image. I really like the dark part of the background on the top right, because I think it creates this balance with her dress, blue dress. So it creates this kind of a balance. Another thing to maybe try would be to use a larger aperture and blur the fruit and have her more prominent. But it's an impressive image. This is just a suggestion. It's a stunning portrait. I gave a score of 19. 19.
19, thank you. Silver Lake Cove.
Oh, another peaceful image, very meditative scene. You could actually breed anxiety with this image. I could look at this for hours. I mean, it's very, very peaceful, very, very peaceful. The colors are nice. This is what you expect from a cloudy day. I personally, if this were my image, I would add a little bit of a warm filter, like maybe orange or yellow, just a little bit of warmth to the image. But this is my personal thing. The image is nice, very nice as it is. Love those two trees and the reflection. The one thing that bothers me is that bright spot right next to the trees. That is very distracting, and that really bothers me. So I think you could clone it, or use the clone tool or the healing brush to get rid of that spot there. And another suggestion would be to darken the foreground just a little bit, so it provides more of a grounding, right? It grounds the image. So these are my suggestions. Another thing would be to add a little bit of contrast, increase a little bit of contrast to make those greens pop. But I'm not sure, because the image is very, very peaceful as it is. So we don't want to go too far with photoshopping. So it's a very nice image. I gave a score of 15.
15. 15. Thank you. Talvera Pot.
Okay, so here I think there is a very good use of the rule of thirds. The leaves are right there. I love the color contrast, the warmth of the leaves, the blue, and the dark background. One problem that I have here also is that the leaves are not in focus, so that kind of detracts a little bit from the photograph. And since they are such a prominent part of the photograph, I think they should be in focus. The area outside the vase is very beautiful. It's incredible. So I would love to see more of that also. So if you move the vase just a little bit up and get some of that background at the bottom, and have that vase have this curve, beautiful curve there with the that beautiful background. You would make it like an incredible image. So that would be my suggestion. The other thing would be to zoom out a little bit. Maybe we are too zoomed in. These leaves are too in my face. So maybe if experiment using different zoom levels and see what other images you would get. As I said, I would like to, if you zoom out, we would see more of that background, the area outside the vase or the bowl. So, and so that would also help balance. You see, I find that it is the leaves need some balance in the background. So we need something to balance those leaves, and I think that background would provide that. I gave a score of 3.
The morning glow.
Okay, so this is interesting. This looks like a mural, and I think that is the effect by using the texture, the laying the texture over the image that creates this gritty look. And to me, it looks like really look mirror. And the colors that you got here are incredible. I really love the colors, and I actually the colors on the trees. And I actually would like to see more of it. I know that the intention here is to showcase the rail cars, but you know, the effect that I see, that when I'm looking at this, I want to see what those trees, and what happens is that the main car here, it's kind of, I feel like it's blocking my view. And I'm sorry, because I know that the intention was to showcase this, but what I feel when I look at it is it's blocking my view. I want to see those beautiful trees in the colors, and it's blocking it. So I think maybe work on this composition, maybe have a different move around.
Let me interrupt here. Are we looking at the right photo?
We're looking at the train array. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Uh-uh.
Oh, we skipped.
Well,
That-
I'm looking at the train array.
Yeah, we're looking at the
Oh,
morning glow.
Okay, I got the
Oh, that's okay.
image in the wrong order. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, so oh, this is the thing interesting. I don't know if it's just me, but I see a cat face in that rock. Can you guys see it, or it's just me?
It's sand, I believe.
A cat face in the rock. I don't see it.
Oh,
I
this is
think
the first thing.
I see
The
it.
first thing I noticed when I look at this image was that cat face there.
I see the cat now. Yes.
on the right side lower. Yeah.
Yes, it's right after that small boat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see 2 eyes in the nose and the puffy
Yeah,
cheek.
yeah.
He's right on.
Well, the rock is beautiful, really beautiful. The rock is incredible. So this photograph has has lots of potential. There are some things that bother me in this project. First is that I really like this rock, but I cannot see it entirely because it's cut off. So I would like it has some kind of this bell shaped, right? This inverted bell, like an histogram. When you look at histogram, you see the bell shape. And I think this rock has that. And I would like to see actually the ends of it. I have to see more of the rock and not have it cut out. The other thing is that I think the image is too zoomed in. And this actually, I mean, calls for, I think, for a more wide angle view of it. And I don't like the fact that this bolt on the right and there's another bolt on the left, they're all cut off. So that bothers me also. The other thing is that I think if you move to the left a little bit, you might find some space between this main bolt here and the other two that are behind it, because right now they are kind of entangled. So I'd like to see some space there. The bolts are beautiful. I mean, this is a beautiful scene. I think that if you zoom out, you will be, it would be like incredible. It would be a very, very nice photograph. Very nice scene. So basically my main points are this. I gave a score of 7.
7.
Okay, so now we go to the train, right? Yeah.
Train array, correct.
Okay. So, yeah, I really like this interesting technique, the applying this texture over the image, create this, to me, the impression of it is a mural. It's kind of a grand vision. And I love the colors on the trees. The effect, you got this effect really right. I would like to see more. And what I was saying before is that what I feel when I'm looking at this is like, I want to see, and this car is blocking my view. I feel like this. And I think the intention would be to showcase the car, right? The train, the rail car. But what I get when I look at it, it's just my feeling, is that it's blocking. So maybe work on a different composition, maybe zoom out, so you get more context in other cars, because after all, you title this an array, train array. So if I just read the title, I would be expecting to see more trains, more rail cars in a kind of a grid-like format or some kind of an array arrangement. Maybe if you go can if it would be possible to raise your camera so that the rail cars would be kind of below the horizon line, and I would then be able to see those trees. So maybe move around, or even, or if you want to really showcase the rail car, maybe move closer, actually zoom in and on the car, and have show this part of the car with the trees on the other side. That would be another interesting image. Just use the main rail car to frame the left side of the image, for example, and let all the beautiful trees shine on the other side. So I gave a score of 8. Excuse me, let me get some water.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
8.
Okay, I'm back.
This is titled Doing the Wild Thing.
Yes. Okay, so are these dragonflies?
Yes.
I believe so.
Incredible. How did you manage to get this photograph? Did you use a macro lens or?
The author is not here.
Oh, the author is not here. Okay. It's an interesting composition. It looks like they're dancing. We know what they're doing, but it looks like they're dancing. It's very well framed. I like the square format. I think the branch or this part of the plant they are on kind of distract. It's kind of distracting. It's kind of ruining the picture. So I would just clone that thing out and put the two dragonflies right in the middle of the square image. Now I think would make it more, would make it like a stronger image. I think the plant there is too bright. It's competing for attention. I think it would be very stronger image if we had just the two dragonflies. Yeah. I gave up, but it is an impressive photo, so I gave it a score of 17.
Shell Beach.
This is a nice image, but I see some weird colors, some weird red artifacts in the rocks, like far close to the water, and also on the water there are some strange artifacts that are red. So I think the effect is not so bad in the foreground. They're kind of interesting foreground, but that thing back there, I don't know. It looks really strange. Looks like a filter that was that badly applied there. So I really don't like what was done there. And I think that, for example, the image is very kind of almost monochromatic. And then you have these highly saturated reds in the foreground. It kind of it doesn't go well, at least for me. So maybe lower the saturation would make it more believable, or make it more interesting. I would the other suggestion would be to lower the camera, get closer to the rock, and have that view, have like that long provided by that distorted view provided by a long wide angle lens. I think that would make the image more interesting. Otherwise, it's a nice image, but there are and I also noted that there are some dust spots on the clouds, so I need to be careful there. And if you send this to if you send an image like this to a competition, it would be just disqualified. Anyway, I did. My suggestion would be to get lower, to get a more interesting composition, to get lower and to get that kind of a distorted view of the angle, the wide angle lens. I think would be more interesting. I gave a score of 2.
Okay. This is sundown at the tidal pools.
Yeah, this is a very nicely captured sunset. I know how difficult it is to capture the sunsets because the sun is so bright. Or maybe it was a sunrise. No, it cannot be a sunrise. It has to be a sunset. So the rocks in the foreground are very interesting, and you have some pools of water there. And if you get lower, you might get some reflection of some light reflections on those pools of water, and you get a more interesting image. And the rocks are beautiful, so if you get lower, you get more of it. I think they will also make it more interesting. Otherwise, it's just another photo of a sunset, like thousands of others that we see every day. So I think you need to try to make something different, add some interest to an image, to the image. And I think that by lowering and getting closer to those rocks and to the ground, you would get a more interesting composition. But it is a beautiful image. So I gave a score of 13. Okay, so I hopefully I didn't repeat any score. So I think
No, I think we're ready.
So we're going to step through them, announce who the photographer was, and whether or not they were awarded first, second, third, or honorable mention.
Okay, this is At the Boardwalk, our first place by Ed E. Powell. A Different View by Dave Clary, and honorable mention. Fall Impressions by Elaine Calvert. Forest of Entombed Sailors Diptych by Gregory Doudna. Lost Arrow Yosemite, Penny Powell. Meadowlark, Richard Russ. No Sleepwalking by Cheryl Decker, and our second place. Now That's a Perfect Blanket by Harold Litweiler. Spray Painted by Alan Upshaw. Surf Grass by Chuck Ubley. You Otter Do Yoga by Jeannie Sparks. Ocean Reclamation by Gregory Doudna. Point Wilson Lighthouse at Dusk by Penny Powell. Por favor, comprar fruta by Cheryl Decker in third place. Silver Lake Cove by Chuck Ubley. Talvera Pot by Alan Upshaw. The Morning Glow by Harold Litweiler. Train Array by Elaine Calvert. Doing the Wild Thing by Jeannie Sparks. And our second honorable mention. Shell Beach by Chuck Ubley. Sundown at the Tidal Pools by Gregory Doudna. Oh, I'm here.
Oh, okay. You didn't say anything, so we're sitting here waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you could see my picture here. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're going to start now with monochrome. There are 14 images. Okay, this is our first image.
A Face from the Fire.
Oh. Okay, so in terms of technique, I like the level, the levels of contrast. You know, the first reaction, at first I thought maybe we should brighten those shadows, but then I thought no, then you're gonna lose the effect, you're gonna lose that impact. So I think it is the level of contrast is perfect, is really, and also like the use of the focal length, because everything is in focus, from the trees in the background to the face, these empty cans in the foreground. I mean, I can see everything. It's chaotic, but I can. It is what it is. It's a chaotic scene. It's a very well composed image, and I commend the photographer for placing the face right where it is. That is like on eye level with me, so I cannot look away. It's just locks my view. One thing that if I have to nitpick, it's that bright sky over there that creates this imbalance, because one side of the sky is covered by all those trees and the other side is not. So you have this bright area there that is kind of competing for attention. It's a very, very impactful image. There is an intense looking face that you have there. It's kind of provides an anchor for my eyes. So it shows defiance. It shows like to me it's a story about survival. You know, everything is crumbling down, everything is destroyed, but I'm still here. So I think the face makes the image. If we didn't have that face, I think it would not have, it would not be such powerful image. It really adds to the impact, especially because of the fact that it's looking directly to me. So it's creating this connection with the viewer. It's kind of magnetic. I really enjoyed this photo. Bravo. I gave a score of 20.
Doorway to the past.
Okay, so here, I like the texture on the wall. The black and white conversion really shows brings that texture out. So, and I think this image has potential. But the issue that I'm having is that there is nothing to look at. I see that there is a stark, one thing that I see is that there is a stark difference between bright and dark. So if that is the intention, to show that dichotomy between dark and brightness, I think maybe it would be a stronger image if you crop it as a like square format, eliminate the bottom of the the window and the top. I don't think we need those, because the part that's left, there is enough information there for me to see or to imagine this. I don't need to see the bottom or the top to understand that. And so then you would have this stripped, which is the texture wall, and then you have right next to it the area of darkness. And then you could move those. I don't know if it's a window, the light coming from a window back there. Maybe have some interesting placement, to have an interesting composition in a square format. I think that would make it more interesting. I think that would make it better, more interesting composition. I think I think the right part of the wall shows everything I need to see. To know about the wall, I don't need to see the bottom, and I don't need to see the top. You know, I learned this from Kim Weston, when he does these photograph reviews, he grabs like a mat board, one in each hand, and he starts cropping these images and says, "Oh, you don't need this. Oh, this is too much here. Oh, you don't need this. You don't need this." He just reduces them to what is essential. And I kind of learned how to look at the images and kind of eliminate all these redundancies and the things that you don't really need and things that don't actually add to the image. And indeed, when you do that, you actually end up with a stronger image. So I gave a score of 9.
Fork in the city.
Okay, this is a very smart and creative use of the wide-angle lens. I appreciate that. although I have to say it took me a while, a little bit to find the fork here in the background. And maybe that is because of the sky area in the background that is really bright, and it just drives just attracts my eye. My eye goes there, where it should go to the fork. But one thing is interesting, because you have this curve that's kind of bright. It's kind of direct my eye. So if my eye goes to the sky, the brightest area in the photograph, then it helps me direct my view to the fork, and I think that's how I actually found it there. So I think it was very clever use of the wide angle. I like the gritty look of the image. It helps eliminate the city distractions. I would maybe suggest that you darken the sky a little bit, because I think that would actually help focus what is the most important part of the image, which is the fork being here. And maybe the fork is way too low. So if maybe you put the fork up there just a little bit up, more on aligned with the rule of third there, that would maybe improve. I think darken the sky would be good. I think that there is not need for you to show too much of that building on the right side. There is too much information on the right side that is not needed. I see the reflection of the buildings here, and I think this is what makes the image. The left side of the image is what makes it. So I think that you don't need to have so much of that building there. It's very powerful image, and I think that you actually playing with the title. And you could go even further. You could actually find a real fork in the road and put the fork there. So that would be interesting. I gave a score of 15.
St. Ive Church.
This is a very pleasant image. I like the sepia tone. It's very well balanced. My eyes don't try to escape the photograph. There is nothing distracting, competing for attention. The sky is interesting. The clouds are very interesting. They're beautiful. And there's nothing distracting from the main subject. It's very well composed, very classic, very pleasing. My eyes goes directly to the chapel where it should go. I think that there is the right amount of foreground. The only suggestion I would give is to darken the brightest parts of the foreground. But it's very nicely composed. Very beautiful. It's a very pleasing image to look at. And I would have no problem having this image hanging on my wall. And I also think that the photographer showed a great deal of respect for the scene, and not trying to exploit suffering or other things. And so I think it was very respectful. I really appreciate it. I gave a score of 19.
Stop it.
Oh, the girl is adorable. And the scene is really spooky. If that was the intention of the photographer, congratulations. I guess this is like an environmental image or environmental message. What is the world that we are leaving to the future generations? Not very nice, according to the photographer. It's a concerning image. It's a disturbing image. I see from the girl's expression in her face that she is not accusing anyone. She's not accusatory. She is just reminding us that we have an obligation to care for this world now before it turns to a totally dystopian nightmare. One thing is, I think the girl face is too big. It's kind of too much in my face. So I would suggest, I'm not being too mean. I'm not saying that decreasing the size would make this better. I would just suggest that try to make this the girl a little bit smaller and see how it looks and see if you like it. Because the way it is, to me, I think it is too big for the image. But maybe that was the intention, to shame us, to do something about the environment. So this image has not only a visual impact, but it has also a social impact because it has this message. Very well executed. I gave a score of 16.
Sun-baked and sandblasted.
Well, this is a very nice black and white. You see this, there is white, there is deep shadows, deep blacks, and different shades of gray. So it makes it very, very pleasant image to look at. I like the one thing that I mentioned before, that I'm an engineer. I'm always looking for equilibrium for balance, and I think I missed something on the right side of this photograph. Some bright thing on the right side to balance the that bright branch there, or part of the tree there. So I think for me, it's a little bit unbalanced. It's almost like the image is going to tilt to the left because of the weight of the brightness there. Because it is so bright, it actually attracts my eyes to it, and then it has a path. So my eyes follow it and follows it outside the picture. So I think you need to have something to stop the eye there. So maybe you need to darken the end of that branch to make it dark, so then my eye doesn't escape the image from following that brightness thing. And to me, there is a part of that branch that looks like a pelican, like it looks like a small pelican. I know it's not, but it looks like. So I think the high contrast creates a very strong portrait of this tree. It's very dramatic. It's a very dramatic. I gave a score of 13. Okay, so this black and white to me lacks contrast. It is too uniformly gray, and there's nothing that stands out. Well, the only thing that stands out is this bright part of the pine tree. And I'm not sure this is what the photographer wanted to showcase or to highlight, this part of the trunk, because this is the brightest part in this image. So that's why my eye goes. So there are some interesting compositional options here. This one was, I think, not very successful. I think, to me, the most interesting parts of the images are these branches coming out of the main trunk, the tree trunk, right? But they blend in with that busy background, which is another pine tree behind it. So it kind of, it's all too homogeneous. So if in fact, what the photographer wanted to highlight was this brightest part, the trunk of this vertical part, which is the brightest part, then I would suggest that you just darken everything else. So then you create the contrast and you create the a point of interest, which would be this brightest part. The way it is, I mean, there is nothing for me to to fix my eye on. So for me, it was a minimum visual impact, lacks contrast, and lacks a point of interest. I gave a score of 8.
Bridge over the river liner.
Okay, so this is a very nice sepia image. I really like it. I like the how these leaves on the foreground on this first tree here, it contrasts with the rest of the foliage in the background. One thing that bothers me is that there are some spools of sky showing some gaps in the foliage that shows this brightest sky, and I think that's very distracting, and so it bothers me. So I would suggest just cloning, just use the healing brush to clone those bright areas there, and fill out more with the trees and the leaves. So when it happens to me, when I take photographs of trees and I get these gaps, I usually clone them. So I've done that. I've used it myself. I like the road, the way it curves. I think there is too much in the foreground. There is nothing interesting happening in the foreground, so maybe just crop some of this foreground here that we don't need, and that helps draw more attention to the curve, to the road. It would be interesting to wait for someone to go to walk by the scene. I think that the other thing is that the first tree, that's the one that is close to us, has this interesting poison oak growing and going up the tree trunk. But because of the black and white conversion, can barely see. So I would like to see more details there, because I think that would make it like a very interesting foreground. So the scene is very beautiful. It's very serene, very peaceful. And it's another image that I would love to have on my wall. I gave a score of 14.
14. Geothermal power plant.
So this has an interesting gritty effect that goes well with the main subject, which to me looks like another dystopian world. Gives me a sense of uneasiness when I look at this image. I don't know if that was the intention of the photographer, but I think that was the effect on me. It's in terms of the image, it's a beautiful image, beautiful. I love the sepia tone and the smoky atmosphere that it has. Very whimsical, very magical. It's very moody. Make me feel like living in a kind of dystopian world. I hope that was not the intention of the photographer. I don't. And I think that the gritty effect that adds to that feeling. I gave a score of 12.
Now or then?
Yeah, this is an interesting image. Very well exposed, black and white. I see deep blacks, I see whites, and I see all shades of gray. It's really very pleasant to look at. In the chair is obviously out of place because nobody expects to have a chair is on the way of a cable car. So it's very, very conceptually creative. It's a very nice composition. If I have to nitpick, I would say move to the left so that you get the chair on a more symmetrical placement against the tracks. It's to me it's more like a conceptual still life, and it gives me this idea of a concept of missing. The streets are empty, although I can see some people there, but no cars, no cable cars. The street lights are working, but there are no cars. So I think it gives me this sense of emptiness. Maybe that's related to a pandemic. I don't know. But it's a very, very interesting, very impactful image. Striking, actually. I gave a score of 17.
Snowstorm.
And we gave this beautiful wintry scene. I know that photographing snow is not easy. It's a very hard thing to do. So the photographer did a very good job here, great job. It's a very pleasing composition. It's very, very well balanced. It's very well grounded. There is this interesting details in the foreground that grounds the image. So I feel like I feel like I'm not following. I'm not falling from the bottom of the image. I feel like grounded. I feel like my eye stops there. So it's a stunning image. I mean, what else to say? I gave a score of 18.
Valentine's School.
Okay, so the black and white conversion here creates this very nice texture. very, very textured, not only on the walls of the house or the school, but also on the trees and all the vegetation in the foreground. So in terms of technique, it's very well done. And the tree is also a very good looking tree, very nicely. The composition is okay, it's very nice. It's very balanced and very well grounded. I like the sky. The sky is very nice. So it's a nice image. I give a score of 11.
Jester at the Grand Canal.
This is a very artistic portrait. I think that's a good use of texture to create this vintage look. It's very appropriate for the subject. So it's very, very, very nicely done. And I like this depth of view, the difference. You see the boat and the buildings in the background are all out of focus. And the focus is right on the main subject. It's a gorgeous costume, very well posed. It looks like the person is a pro, knows how to pose. Or maybe the photographer was directing the scene. So kudos to the photographer for this photo. It's a striking photo. Everything looks very good. I mean, there is nothing. It's a great composition. It's a magical scene. Evokes all kinds of classical music playing in my head while I look at it. So bravo. I gave a score of 21.
Long wait for the doctor.
This is a real funny image. The skeleton looks so awkward. I mean, it's just funny. If the photographer wanted to create a dramatic image, I'm sorry, but you didn't yet, because it just make me laugh. I don't know. I'm not sure I like the technique, this inverted photograph, inverted color. And I think the scene is way too busy. There is this metal stick on the floor, and I think that maybe it is like bright, really bright, and it's distracting to me. Maybe the original photo it was dark, so it wasn't that problem. But when you invert it and it becomes like bright like it is, it adds to the busyness of this photo. I think the texture on top of it doesn't help. I'm sure this is so out of the ordinary, and I'm sure that we'll get first prize in some photo competition because it's so over the top, it's so different. So I'm sure this is the photo that I remember long after tonight. I'll remember this photo. Because it gets high points for impact, for visual impact. But to me, I really don't like the technique. So I gave a score of 10.
Okay.
Oh, we're done.
Okay, this is A Face from the Fire by Harold Litweiler, and second place. Doorway to the Past by Alan Upshaw. Fork in the City by Ed E. Powell. St. Ive Church by Tony Martindale, and third place.
Nice photo, Tony.
Stop It by Jim McInnes. Sunbaked and Sandblasted by Elaine Calvert. Tree Branches by Penny Powell. Bridge Over the River Liner by Tony Martindale. Geothermal Power Plant by Jim McInnes. Now and Then by Cheryl Decker. Snowstorm by Richard Russ, and our honorable mention. Valentine's School by Ed E. Powell. And our first place, Jester at the Grand Canal by Jim McInnes. Long Wait for the Doctor by Tony Martindale. That's it.
All right.
Okay, congratulations to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eduardo.
Yes.
Harold, I'd like to ask
I
on the face in the fire,
Yes.
was that painted after the fire, or
Correct.
is it a composite?
Yeah, he did about 4 or 5 different paintings there in that fire. Went through
Okay.
different buildings and put up there, and Jim went up there too, so he saw a lot of the same things up there. So
Where was that?
up in Greenville, up in
Okay,
Dixie Fire, but he
Yeah.
also did. This guy did one in the Paradise Fire. He goes all over where there's fires and kind of paints in after the fire and the destruction, and puts faces in there, which is it's really interesting actually.
yeah,
Yeah, when I first saw them, I thought, well, the first one I thought it was basically a mural, that survived the fire. But then you see 3 or 4 of them like that, and they're all in places that inside where they shouldn't have been, So I figured that they were painted afterwards.
yeah. I mean, when I looked at the image, I go, well, yeah, it wasn't in the fire, that's for sure. I didn't know if it was painted afterwards or if it was in composite. So
Yeah, 1 second, I'll tell you the artist's name. His name is Shane Grammer. Shane Grammer.
don't know.
Yeah, anyway, I mean, that's what he does. So
Very impressive.
Yeah.
And Harold's is in monochrome, but the faces are blue.
Oh,
So they're very they really jump out at you because they're blue against these beige walls, if you want to say that.
yeah.
Makes a really striking image.
yeah, very interesting. Yeah.
Penny, before you leave, I wanted to say congratulations to Ed, and I was sorry that Cheryl missed this since she did so well. Tell her congratulations for me.
No, keep
Okay.
it a
I think you did well.
secret.
Yeah.
Don't tell Cheryl. She wants to see, she should show up.
Yeah, we can change the scores and she won't ever
It's a
have to do
shame
anything.
she'd have to miss it, yeah.
So,
Well,
so
she's
is
gonna watch
is
the
this a
recording.
cyanotype?
Yes.
Tony, is this a cyanotype?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Bye-bye. We gotta go.
It's
That-
scanned. I scanned.
Good night.
I made the cyanotype and then I scanned it
oh, I see.
because it's the only way you can enter in digital.
Yeah.
Oh, the cyanotype would get a higher score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony does a lot of cyanotypes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do quite a lot.
I really liked your title, Tony. That was great.
Yeah, it was a long wait.
Yeah, it was.
Tony's the only
Eduardo,
one. Tony's the only one that gets his hand dirty making photographs.
Eduardo, I like your
What I like.
suggestion on my diptych, the
Very nice.
force
very-
faces. I like your suggestion of making that a 4x4.
It'd be like Andy Warhol, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I actually have at least 8 more images, different carvings in these
Oh.
trees. So it could make quite an interesting big mural.
Yeah.
It was a really good suggestion. I think I'll work on that and see what happens.
Yeah, be great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your comments. A lot of details, Eduardo. It was they were all informative.
Yes, thank you.
All my personal view. It's more like how the photograph impacts me.
Well, that's always the way it is,
Right. It's not about the quality of the photograph. I mean, so if I don't like the photograph, it doesn't mean that the photograph is bad. I mean, it's just that it didn't strike my chords, my strings here. It didn't
Right.
vibrate.
Yeah, but like
We're
I
all
said,
that way.
yeah, it's always that way.
expect it.
And that's all we can ask of you is to give us your opinions and your best advice and critique. And you gave us a lot of your time. We appreciate that.
Yes.
What are you going to do? Are you working on any projects right now?
I'm not, because I'm really busy at work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not photographing. I'm taking some photographs like here and there with my iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
which is my camera now. My camera is the iPhone.
Seems like everybody's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no new equipment. I'm not buying any equipment. I'm not even buying those new mirrorless camera. I'm not getting those.
Those
I'm
are a
just
flash in
thinking
the pan. Those are a flash in the pan. They'll go away.
I don't think so.
If you need film, Penny Powell has a stock of it in her freezer at home.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a 20 cubic foot freezer full of.
Whole film.
I'm not sure she'd give a lot of it up either.
What I'm doing is some photograms.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
On expired black and white photo paper.
Yeah.
I that is interesting. That is something interesting.
Where do you get the expired paper?
From other photographers from the club.
Yeah. I saw work done on expired paper, but there's a woman who did it, and all she did was develop it. She didn't do anything to it, just develop it. And you get these really interesting color patterns and, I mean, it's just amazing, And so, some photographers have gone out and they go and buy old, dark rooms. They just buy all the equipment and all the film and all the paper and that type of thing. And then they use the film, obviously, for making photographs. And that has its own characteristics, especially color film, when the colors basically start changing, when the chemistry changes.
Yeah. The Westerns,
Mhm.
they have a dark room here that the community can use.
Uh-huh.
So I used to fix those photograms. I went there, and I used their dark room.
Mm-hmm.
And the day I was there, the Kim's son Zachary was there, and I'm so bad in the dark room that I used those tongs from one developer, from one fixer to another, and so they say, "Oh my God, now you contaminated it." He almost kicked me out of the dark room.
Right. Have you seen Robert Farber's work that was basically damaged from water?
No.
Yeah. You should look at some of Robert's work. It's just fascinating. It's incredibly beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay,
it's all his storage facility. It got leaks or something, and a lot of his negatives were you would say destroyed, but they made just these beautiful prints.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna see.
Eduardo, thank you for helping us.
Yeah.
Well,
I learned a lot tonight. A lot.
oh yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's good. Well, no tomatoes, so something went well.
Well, like I said, I'm
So
gonna.
it was a pleasure to do this, and very nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, thank you for doing it. Yes. And thank you for waiving your fee.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna say good night.
Okay.
Okay, good night, Eduardo. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to everybody.
Good night.
Yeah, it
Thank
was great.
you.
It was great seeing you again.
Yeah, it's great
Eduardo.
to see you too. Let's keep in contact. Let's keep in touch.
Yeah. Well, I might be up in your area sometime in the near
Oh yeah.
future.
Okay. So send me an email. So
Right. Sounds good.
I'm not much on Facebook anymore. So
Yeah. That's what I figured. So yeah, I'll send you an email.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Okay. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
I'm going to sign off too. Good night, guys.
Okay. Good night, Daryl.
Good
Night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Everybody's dropping. The flies are dropping.
Yeah.